a message to my fellow American citizens, especially African American ones, but all of you. You really need to keep your mouths shut when it comes to Israel. Defending themselves, protecting themselves. You need to keep your mouths shut. There isn't a more ignorant race of people, culture of people on the planet than there are in the United States of America. We are probably the most illiterate people in understanding culture and history, for we are not a culture or history. We are an amalgamation. We are homogenized into a melting pot. We are a cultural gumbo. But in that stew of gumbo is our each individual ancestral descendancy that we can reflect on and refer to if we know it, and most African Americans don't know ours, in particular because of slavery. But to hear so many ignorant black podcasters join the slew and chorus of the ignorant white podcasters who do not understand because they've never been put in a position. In other words, you've never walked a mile in the moccasins of an Israeli. Nor were you 76, 75 years ago repatriated back into your homeland, the land of your ancestry of over 3,000 years, 3,500 years old. No, we're only 2 grandmas old in the United States of America, barely 200, 250 years. Call that 2 grandmothers and a half. And yet you think you can lecture an Israeli? How often do you and your babies get to wake up to bomb threats? Miss Owens. She's the dumbest one of them all. How often, Mr. Jones down there in Austin, Texas, and the rest of the slew Infowar idiots? How often do you have to worry about your daughter or your son dying at the sound of a siren? Do you even have a bomb shelter that you have to run into while your wife is breastfeeding that nationalist, right-wing, extremist baby of yours? And you're going to tell Israel how to protect themselves? So, you're in Texas, you idiot. And I take it New Mexico and Oklahoma and New Orleans, Louisiana, and Mississippi are wanting you dead, right? They're lobbing missiles across your border, trying to kill you. You got missiles coming at you. Everybody's got a fatwa against you. Every Texan should be killed and dead. And I don't know where that Miss Owen thing lives. I'm sure that not that different than Mr. Alex Jones. I'm sure where she lives, she's not surrounded by states that want to kill her and her baby with that farmer Englishman. Should have stayed Catholic instead of, oh no, you weren't Catholic. That's right, you were a Protestant. Kind of like Harry, you got mixed up with a Meghan Markle. Made you crazy. You people are to be ashamed of yourselves, and you're going to lecture Israel. You're going to tell the Israelis you don't have a right to defend yourself. Really? See, what I think you should do is you should go and move close to the border of the West Bank or Gaza or up by Kiryat Shmoa. Go live in the Golan. Better yet, move your little sorry Gaza sympathizer butts to Palestine. Yeah, Gaza. Is that what you want to call it? Whatever you want to call it. Go live there. Put your money where your mouth is. The Israelis do. The Israelis are in the thick of it. They're not talking it, they're walking it and living it. Shut up, you and your nice little gated community. Yeah, your neighbors aren't trying to lob missiles at you. No, they're not. All you can complain about is an illegal alien coming across the border to get a job. You're idiots and you're foolish. But let me tell you something, you, my fellow dumb, idiotic, illiterate, uncultured American friends, while you are celebrating your 4th of July. You don't even know what the history means. Your people were lynched, weren't they? God knows the trail of tears and what was done to the Indians. And what we did to the Mexicans under President James Polk at the protests of Abraham Lincoln. Land grab. Sounds familiar? Putin. Zelensky. Land grab. And you think you can lecture Israel after they came through a genocidal Holocaust? You think you're in a position to lecture the people that live every day with their grandmothers and great-grandmothers, Holocaust survivors, their children and their babies, surrounded by their enemies, yet they can still keep living and build a technological wonder of cities and urbanization and agriculture. They can still worship on the Shabbat, the real one, not Sunday. They can still have a dream and hope and laugh and play, celebrate Kiddush, because they serve women and men in their military. Everyone. And you think you're in a position to judge them from your safe haven. That's like a man or a woman lecturing some poor guy or poor family underneath a bridge while you're sitting at the top of a hill in Coto de Caza or the neighborhood in San Clemente or Beverly Hills. And you're going to lecture them. What do you know? And as an African American, we get really darn tired of white people wanting to lecture us about slavery and our history. They weren't lynched in the fields. Their mothers weren't raped. Their churches weren't bombed just because their skin was darkened. They weren't told to get in the back of a bus. They didn't walk down the street and hear somebody tell their grown daddy, boy. While you are your boy, you are the boy of your father. And seeing them disrespect your father, disrespect your mother, tell them to go through a back door. Now, if you don't like white people trying to lecture you about what it's like to sit in the back of a bus, be kicked out of a church because you're black. I was kicked out of a church just because I walked in because I was black. They really should be quiet, shouldn't they? And let you talk. Well, why don't you shut up about Israel and let them talk? Because you cannot relate to what they go through. And most of you, you can't compare to the strength of an Israeli woman or man. Because under those conditions that they deal with, live with, they have bar mitzvahs with, births with, graduations with, birthdays with, weddings with, anniversaries with, under the constant shadow of the Allahu Akbar crowd. And they manage to build and thrive. All you can manage to do is go there and piss on their land, treating it like some Disneyland tour group to where Jesus lived. So if you really want to know what it's like to walk through a desert, endure hardness like a good soldier, bear under, dance in the face of being surrounded by your enemies, sing and worship God on your face without strobe lights, sushi, and Hooters after your service on Sunday, go to Israel. And see what real strong people do, no matter what. Every day and every night, no matter when it happens. Get up and keep going. In the shelter at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, 8 a.m., 6 a.m., 10 a.m., 5 a.m., never know. At the drop of a hat. But they're strong, stronger than you. Because you haven't had bombs and missiles slobbing over you. You haven't had sirens go off and rushing into a shelter, getting injured and breaking your back and breaking your foot and even dying. You don't know, you don't have that. And you're going to lecture Israel? America, shut the hell up.